How did you end up on that stream with Jidion a few months back, and how did you feel about the way that it went?
You talking about, was I wearing like a blue Nike shirt or something like that?
I think he was wearing a suit. That's the primary thing I remember.
Man, Jidion hit me up a long time ago, but the way we got connected is...
You were talking about Kai.
Yeah, I had said something like, this was like last summer, I said something like, I think I said something where I said Kai wasn't marketable at that particular time because he said too much or something. But me, I'm a business major, like I have a business degree. So I'm watching Kai be like a super marketable person. But I'm thinking like, damn, he could be this much bigger if he like marketed his shit different. Even though I wasn't on his level or I'm not on his level at all, I would watch his content and be like, man, like he has the capability of doing this and that if he just didn't do this and that. So they took it the wrong way. I guess Jidion was reacting to it on his stream. So he calls up Kai and then, you know, transition's different and it's going here, it's going there.
They took it as being more hate than you meant it.
Yeah. But it definitely wasn't hate. It was more so like me watching him be like this big dude, this big streamer. And I'm just like, damn, like if he just like was doing this, he could be on some Kevin Hart shit. So that's basically what it was. That's how I got connected with Jidion. So that stream, I think that's what I was talking about, right? On that particular stream?
Yeah.
No, this was after I knew Jidion already. Yeah, and we had that conversation, but I think he was like trying to troll me for his audience, but I know Jidion's a troll, so.
That's what all the Twitch streamers do when they get somebody on Discord or whatever. I noticed that this is a very common thing, and I see Neon and Aiden Ross and shit do it, where it's kind of like, a lot of times I'll be interviewing somebody and it won't really be like explosive or all that entertaining, but it will be like a 2-hour good conversation.
Yeah.
But like the Twitch streamer mentality is like, no, provoke them, make the shit as out of pocket as possible, get the viral moment, make this shit as ridiculously as humanly possible. And that's how you get great content, which sometimes you need to like go out of your way to make it like that. But a lot of times it's like, even if it's a person that I totally fundamentally disagree with, I have a hard time having anything other than just like a civil, normal conversation, you know?
You know, I think with that, like just remembering it, I think he was like trying to bait me. But the thing is like, it would have had to been something that resonated for me to even like give him what he wanted. So, I mean, you can't tilt me. Like, you can't sell me a car. Like, if I want the car, I'm gonna go buy it. If I want a house, I'm gonna go buy it. You can't say, oh, well, pick this house that's $200,000 instead of this $700,000. So, like, when we did the stream, I was just like, oh, yeah, he's trying to bait me. But I'm just not in that type of mood. Like, it's got to be natural. I can't just bust out. I could have faked it if that's what he wanted, but yeah, that's what it was. I think he was just on some baiting shit, basically.
Yeah. You got to give it to him because he has a knack for it. I mean, he's a prankster by definition. So why would that shit not kind of translate into how he does his thing on, you know, a Discord call with somebody as well?
I think he's doing like Jesus stuff right now.
Is he seriously?
Yeah.
That's something I can't
I checked out. I didn't know if it was real, but I think it's real. I think he's doing like, you know, the stuff with God and preaching it, you know, at churches and doing sermons and stuff.
I mean, I feel like for a lot of creators, it's just at a certain point, there's like, you know, what's bigger than God?
Yeah.
Like Andrew Tate, it seemed like he did it all, and then he was like, fuck it, I'm Muslim.
Yeah. I mean, some people beat the game, I would like to say. Some people beat the game, and they're like, oh, fuck it, I got to do something next. Like, what do you do when you, like, conquered everything?
And when you seem like a representative of something bigger than any of us can really wrap our head around, it's kind of easy for people to like maybe forgive you for your sins or to look at you as somebody who's just, you know, deserving of more accommodation as a result. And like, I've seen, you know, tons of people going to bat for Andrew Tate that I would have never expected. And it's like, it's the Muslim thing. It's just like, as much as it seems kind of insincere to just randomly decide that you're Muslim this late in your life, right after you become rich and successful, it's like, to a lot of people, that is just so fucking captivating. And I look at it and I'm like, I couldn't do that. Like, everybody's heard me talk about the fact that I don't believe in God, and that just kind of puts me in a box of like not being deserving of any sympathy when you don't have any like supernatural beliefs. Yeah.
So when you say like, so my thing with atheists is like, I'm more of a science kind of guy. I grew up in like a Christian church, so I realized it was like, I would say it was more of a business base. I peeped it when I was like 7 years old. I'm like, damn, why are we putting stuff in a collection plate, so on and so forth. But as like somebody who says they're atheist, so like where do you think you came from? Like what made you?
I really haven't thought about it that much. I just don't feel like. I mean, I've read a bit about like the Big Bang theory and like what the root of humanity might be and stuff, but I wouldn't say I'm like that curious about it. I just think that all of the proposed narratives in terms of religions as ways of explaining like how we came to be are just blatantly absurd. But that doesn't necessarily like cause me to go in the direction of figuring out like what is the meaning of life. And like, it's to me, it's like, it seems kind of obvious that there isn't a lot of meaning, that this is all sort of temporary and we're just having experiences. And even the most meaningful experience that I could have, like having a kid and stuff, it's like, it's so blatantly obvious to me at all times that like, this is temporary. Like, like I'm only going to be alive for another like 30, 35, 40 years probably.
Yeah.
And, the most passionate experiences you can have are still fleeting. So, I try to just kind of focus on living a good life while I'm here.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I feel like if you don't believe in the whole Jesus thing, I feel like science is the best way to go. Like us talking to science, you blinking to science, you looking out of your eyes. It's like, I guess, a mirror reflection, like the way your eyeballs work. All this shit is science. So that's, to me, when people ask me like, yo, do you believe in a higher power? I say, yeah, like a scientist. I feel like there was like a dope engineer that said, fuck it, I'm gonna put the moon here, the earth here, and then just create fucking drones of people and just have them like on an ant farm.
Well, ever since I heard the simulation theory shit a few years back or whatever, it's kind of hard for me to get my head past that.
Yeah, same shit.
Like,
When
it's just,
I heard that,
yeah,
I'm like, damn, I am in simulation. Like, we can't get off this motherfucker.
right.
Like, this is it. Like, the only way you could really break simulation, kind of, to me, is with revenue. Because you could kind of like not do the same shit. Like, there's this YouTube series, I forgot what it's called, but this guy animates and he says the life of a 9-to-5er. And he'll make the video as stressful as possible. Like, get up, hit your alarm, blah, blah, blah. Like, you know how
Well,
it
but
works.
that to me is the most painful thing that I could imagine, is just having to live a life where every single day I just get up and do shit that I don't want to do to just get by. Like, that really pains me to even imagine. I just like actually don't know if I would be able to make my body do that, because I hated working through high school and shit. I hated it so much that the only thing that I could do, and I say all this realizing that most people have to have jobs, and I'm not trying to encourage them to go fucking piss off and do stuff that's irresponsible, but every single minute of my life that I spent working, I spent thinking about how the fuck am I going to figure out how to do something that I don't hate for the rest of my life, because this is not going to work for me.
That was me. I had like this little series on YouTube called The Critical Times. Back when I used to like work at fucking Goodwill. So I'm like sitting there documenting, like talk about how I want to make it out of simulation. And it's just crazy, like how I just kept going. And I mean, you're basically a professional slave when you work at Goodwill. So I think if you work there, it's like modern day slavery.
Right.
Yeah. So to do that and like be here is like kind of crazy when you think about the journey. It's nuts. I was just in my car some years ago complaining, drinking 1 million fucking Red Bulls a day. Yeah.
I remember thinking about wanting to be interviewed for a long time before, and this is like, pre-internet where like everybody has been interviewed now, it feels like, but like, this is kind of weird to me that it ended up with me just interviewing people, because that was something that I always was thinking about when I'd be reading magazine interviews and stuff throughout my childhood, is like, how do I get to the point where somebody will give me a forum like this where I could just actually talk about myself for a few pages or whatever length of time?